You know, for the longest time, foraging has just been not that fulfilling to me. But I heard they added a new axe to the game, so I'm just gonna go get that. Wait a minute, I can't even put efficiency 5 on this thing! Hello random people on the internet, my name is Banana, and today we are talking about the Daedalus Axe, which is a brand new weapon added in Hypixel Skyblock with the Community Center update. This weapon is, I don't want to spoil the video, but I mean, you read the title. I'm not very hype about this weapon. I was hype about it because, I mean, you look at it, you know, you get 4 damage per taming level, and if you didn't know, I was the first taming 50. Go watch that video. It's epic. It's really cool. It copies the stats from your active pet, and you earn 35 coins for monster kills. So if I had gotten this thing for free, or if I'd gotten this thing for something as cheap as a Raider's Axe, it's going to end up paying itself off, because that 35 coins is going to be really nice when you're grinding eyes, when you're doing anything in the game. But the fact is, I spent 200 mil buying this thing, so I don't know if it's my fault that I'm disappointed or the game's fault, because, I mean, I knew this sword was going to be sort of iffy going in. It has very little strength. It does not have the damage to fight with the big boys. The only thing that I was hoping would boost it forward is the crit damage and the copying stats from other pets. And I mean, there is a brand new enchant in the game called Chimera, and it is an ultimate enchant. It's very rare. You only get it from killing Inquisitors, which are extraordinarily rare mobs that you only can get if you have a legendary griffin. But there is a very small chance that you can get Chimera books, and that's going to make you basically have the copy the stats from your active pet passive when you have Chimera 5, because it's just going to give 100% of the stats, and that could obviously make this better, but that'll make any weapon better. Chimera is just a whole nother video in itself once those books are actually around. But I feel like this weapon, I knew it was lacking, but I didn't know how much it was lacking until I actually recorded this video. So we're going to go into some damage testing, but do note that when I was doing this, I was thinking that it would be better. I was hoping that it was actually good, but little did I know, it's pretty bad. So the first damage comparison I want to do is comparing it to a Midas sword while I'm using my level 90 Griffin pet. So this Daedalus Axe cost me, you gotta remember here, it cost me almost like 200 mil. Sure, I bought it for stupid inflated prices because there's no way it actually ends up staying this high, but there are a couple cool things that I think this has over the Midas. For one, it has Magic Find on it, and I mean, you can't really get Magic Find on a Midas unless you're throwing Chimera on there. So that is a good perk of it. And then that's honestly it. That's all it really has over the Midas. The Gilded Midas is definitely going to be really good, and my Talisman Reforges for this test are actually going to be mainly Forceful, and then I have a couple Strongs up here. And we're just going to see the damage comparison between the two things. So first, I'm going to use the Daedalus Axe, and you can see I'm hitting for 185, 200k right there. Why did I put a lightning rune on this thing? I regret everything. 183, so you can see I'm hitting 202, about like 180 to 200k. So it's definitely a good sword, considering the fact that, like, if I whip out a Reaper Falchion, I'm going to be doing 427k, you know, this is obviously going to be better for fighting zombies, but the Daedalus Axe is still going to handle itself for sure. I'm not sure if it's handling itself for 200 million coins worth, but it still is really good. But to really see how good it is, we're going to compare it to the Midas. So you got to remember 180 to 200k here, and the Midas does 226. That is a massive yikes for the Daedalus Axe. I don't know if it's because I'm not reforged properly, because I'm not big brain enough to determine what the best reforged setup is for the Daedalus Axe. I'm not sure if it's because my pet is only level 90. I'm not sure if it's because I don't have Chimera, but this thing is doing it's doing like 10% less damage at like minimum compared to the Midas, it's going to be doing about 20% less damage compared to the Gilded Midas the majority of the time. And the Gilded Midas doesn't have to rely on the Fabled Reforge, which is just going to be really good. So I'm able to run around and just whack things with this really easily. And I mean, the Daedalus Axe is sort of struggling. Alright, so we just got a dragon pet, and we're going to compare the damage between the two best pets that I'd say for this. And that's going to be the Griffin pet and the dragon. Right now my Griffin is only level 90, but it's going to be close enough a comparison that I think this will work. So I'm just going to show you. It has the antique remedies because it's going to increase the pet's strength by 80%. And if you remember, like I said earlier in the video, this thing does lack a bit of strength. But we're just going to be hitting with this first. So you can see we're going to deal 138k damage there, 159k. Highest I've seen is 159. Alright, now let's see with the dragon. So the dragon is probably going to have better stats. It has the superior increase. So I'm probably going to be dealing more. Remember, it was 159 on the last one. And it is 160. 184. Okay, so the percentage difference, 184... like, you're getting a bit more damage with the dragon here, and that is obvious. I wonder how much of an increase it would be if I had a higher level Griffin, but I mean, you can see the dragon pet is just going to be the best pet for this. I mean, you're going to be hitting consistently higher than what the Griffin like capped out at for me. And yeah, that's just really insane. But yeah, you can see that the dragon pet is still going to be probably the best pet for this. Maybe, just maybe, if I had that 10% more stats on my Griffin pet, I might be able to pull out something a little more, because I would get 1.4% more strength, plus I'd get more strength from just leveling it. But, I mean, the Griffin pet's still going to be really good for this, and you're going to be getting a Griffin pet if you're grinding this out manually. So overall, I think that it is pretty cool that this is actually working how it is. It has so much damage, so much strength, and I mean, you can just pair it with whatever you want. With the Griffin, you're also getting more Magic Find, you're getting more Intelligence. There's a lot of cool things, and then once you get Chimera, you're going to be able to get more Magic Find. You're going to be getting 20 Magic Find from one weapon when you have a level 100 Griffin with Chimera, but that's going to be a long ways down the road still. So I do have to admit, I went in with pretty low expectations. I knew the stats on this thing were lacking. I knew it probably wouldn't be the best weapon in the game. But I'm still a little bit disappointed. There are a couple cool things you can do with this weapon. For example, if you are using the Griffin pet at max level, it is going to give you 10 Magic Find. And that Magic Find can be turned into 17 Magic Find if you put on a Clover Core. But then if you get the Chimera book, you're actually going to be able to get 34 Magic Find from just copying the stats, because you're going to get the 17 from the base pet, you're going to get 17 from the Daedalus Axe passive, and then Chimera is going to give you 17 more. So you're going to be getting 51 Magic Find total just from having your Griffin pet out, and that's going to be a lot of Magic Find. That's going to be really cool. And I mean, there are just like a bunch of pets that have like really interesting things that you could do with them. The snowman is one I've looked at a couple times, because you look at it, you see that you get actual flat damage on top of it, along with crit damage, along with strength. So that could be good. Wither skeleton's going to be good. Something like a phoenix actually gives a lot of intelligence. That could be really awesome. There's a lot of different things that you can try out with the Daedalus Axe. But I just really do wish that it was worth the amount of time and money that you have to spend on getting it, because to get a legendary Griffin, to do a lot of the things in the game, and then just get a very, very mediocre weapon is sort of shitty. Because you gotta remember, I'm using pretty much the best of the best stuff in the game. It really does suck that I couldn't test it with a dragon and with a Midas at the same time, but I don't have both of those, and the people that I was recording with were not online at the same time. And I really couldn't test it, but obviously the dragon's going to buff everything, so it's going to buff the Midas as well. And it's just going to keep beating out this Daedalus Axe. I think one thing they could do is just add a bit of strength onto it. Like, please, for the love of God, it starts with 0 strength at all. So if they just threw on literally like 100 strength, this would be a really good weapon, and it would actually be worth the hundreds of millions of coins that you actually have to throw into it. But that is going to be all for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy, and I hope it helped you not want to buy this weapon. I sort of just screwed myself by making a video talking about how this weapon that I spent so much coins on is really bad. So when I go and try and sell this, it's going to sell for nothing, and that is very depressing. But I mean, I have to be a truthful YouTuber, and I just have to admit this thing's not great. But if you want to support me, you can definitely go bid on my auction house. I'll throw up some arrows for the boys to bid on. If you bid over 3 mil, I'll F-add you if you're online when the auction house is done. Something like that. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. Contraband's sort of weird nowadays. Just watch the video and you're giving me money that I can put into the Hypixel market now. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.